Good morning, folks. The time is 9:25 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on the 23rd of May, 2025. Now, you know, since we live on a globe, that's the 24th for my friends on the other side of the planet there. My friends in Australia, my friends in, well, I'd say a little more specific than just Australia, my friends in Victoria, my friends in Adelaide, my friends in Sydney, my friends in Melbourne. How is everybody doing today? Not just the folks in Australia, everybody. I hope you're all doing great. My name's Lee. I'm the guy who started the groups. Well, I thought it was funny. That's right. It's pluralized because I started two groups. Why? Well, that first group was so funny, I thought we better start it twice. And guess what? That worked out really well for us. And you, my friends, you're you, and you are amazing. How do I know you're amazing? Look at these groups that we created. These groups are amazing, but they were nothing until you came here, which means, therefore, you must be amazing, my friends. So thank you for being amazing. Thanks for making us amazing. Cheers to us, my friends. And you know what? As of this moment, we are over 750,000 members, my friends. 750,000 plus members in this community of ours called, well, I thought it was funny. That's more people than a lot of cities on the planet. And what do I like to call us? You've heard it before. If you've been here before, we're the funniest city on the planet, my friends. Population, you and I. Funny people in a funny place, and we make people laugh. And we're really good at it. So cheers to us, my friends. So what are you doing today, my friends? I'll tell you what I'm doing today. Well, I did all my laundry yesterday. Well, not all the laundry. There's always more laundry, right? I went to the dump yesterday, got rid of that TV, and you know, it's always exciting at the dump, isn't it? Actually, our dump is weird. It's like you're driving into a natural area. It's a nice looking dump. But anyways, went to the dump yesterday, dropped off that old plasma TV, and then I came home and I didn't do much after that. Now, today, I think I'm going to go visit a good friend of mine that I haven't seen for a while. He's been kind of down a little bit, so I may surprise him and see if I can get him out of his house and do some things. But if not, I'm still going to try. Going to go down there, and that's the main plan that I have right now. I also think I'm going to clean up this computer room a little bit because there's parts that you can't see that look pretty bad. Like the desk right here to my left, your right, the desk on the side's got a pile of stuff. Like it's not dirty, it's cluttered, and I got to take care of that. And eventually, I actually want to move this desk over a little bit so it's sort of on a different corner. But that's not what I'm doing today. I may straighten up the desk, though. But that's about it. No real plans other than that. Probably got to do a little bit of shopping. I think there's a couple things I need to pick up today. But once again, nothing major. One of those things might be another monitor, though. Because I do think this video editing would be a lot better if I have two monitors. And so that's what I've got planned, my friends. And other than that, you know, who knows what the world's going to bring. Now, tomorrow I'm working a football game. So at least, well, football season starting. It's a preseason game for the Calgary Stampeders and the visiting Edmonton Elks are in town. That's our big rivalry. Edmonton and Calgary, the two biggest cities in our province, Alberta. And that's the rivalry, Edmonton and Calgary. And that's starting tomorrow. So got a football game tomorrow. That's CFL, my friends. Look it up. It's similar to the NFL football, but it is different. There are different rules. You know, and I heard from Michelle Finnerty yesterday about a walk she went on Tuesday. It was through, well, more of a hike actually. It was through a river preserve with her aunt. It was 5 miles. Photos are fantastic, and I'm going to bring those up for you because I got some great pictures from her. It sounds like it was a great walk. She saw a couple of hearts out there in the wild, which for Michelle means something special, and I think that's awesome. So let me bring up those photos here. There's Michelle and her aunt. There's some great photos there, just looking fantastic. And there's the first heart you can see in the bottom middle. And of course, we've got a dandelion gone to seed. Great little rustic path. Like, I think this looks fantastic. That's the first photo. Now, I got two photos here. Just look at that. Just fantastic. And a great looking beetle there. There's another heart in the wild. And then take a look, my friends. Michelle is representing there with her, well, I thought it was funny, 3/4 sleeve rock shirt. Michelle, thanks for those photos. They're fantastic photos. Thanks for representing. And I love when you share these walks you go on, because they are, it's just amazing scenery that you go through. Really appreciate that, Michelle. Thanks for sharing what you were doing yesterday. I also heard from Melissa Carnahan. You remember Melissa Carnahan? Melissa Carnahan is not currently on Facebook, but she still watches these videos on YouTube. And when she messaged me yesterday, it was right after the videos came out, and she had just got home from hanging out with Parker. That's her grandson. And it's something that she does pretty much every day during the week. And I think she loves doing that. That's Parker's her grandson and her boss, as she calls it. So, Melissa, thank you very much for still watching. And thanks for letting us know what's going on in your life. And I heard from Dave yesterday. Dave commented on the video. Not about what he was doing today, just mentioned on what I was doing. He goes, I was going to the dump, to the dump, to the dump, dump, dump. And you're right, right, Dave. I did go to the dump. Folks, what are you doing today? I want to hear about your days. I really do. Why don't you leave a comment on this video letting us know what you did today or what you're planning on doing today. You don't have to go into great details or anything. You don't have to share photos, but you can do either if you want. We'd love to see photos. We'd love to hear details, but we don't mind just a brief thing like, hey, I'm working today. Whatever you want to share, I want to talk about, my friends. It's how, we can make these videos a little more interesting. I've got a great couple of posts that I want to share with you today from people that you've definitely heard their names before if you watch these videos. And one of them, especially if you've watched this video up to now. That's right, I've got posts from Michelle Finnerty. I just talked about her date just a moment ago. Michelle Finnerty is one of our top... No, that's not true. Michelle Finnerty is our top poster in both groups. I was going to say she's one of our top posters. She's the top poster in both groups. Michelle shares the funniest stuff, my friends. And she is prolific in what she shares. And we really appreciate that, because that's how we stay funny. And then the other one is from Rose Glad. Rose Glad is another person that if you've watched more than one of these videos, then you know who Rose Glad is. She is one of our top posters too. She shares all the funny stuff, and she shares her days all the time too. And today I've got a post from each of them. So let's bring them on. Let's bring on the funny stuff. We're going to start off with Michelle Finnerty bringing up her meme right here. Okay. Now, maybe I laughed too hard at this, but I laughed hard at this. Like, I snorted. I laughed so hard at this, okay? Michelle, this really made me laugh. Thank you so very much. And I'm sure you made a lot of other people laugh. It was so funny that the scammers are trying to share it now, Michelle. That's how good it was. So, thank you, Michelle, so very much. I'm not going to read it out to you, folks. You either get it or you don't. But I really appreciate it. Now, the next one that made me ugly snort laugh, and it's true, is from Rose Glad. Let me bring that one up right away. And I shouldn't be laughing. I should be crying. But it's funny. And if you can't laugh at yourself, you can't laugh at anyone, my friends. Oh, Rose, this one hit close to home, but sometimes I think that's why they're funny. Sometimes they hit close. You got to laugh or you got to cry. And I decided to laugh. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you to everyone out there for all your posts that you share. We wouldn't be at 750,000. 750,000 people here if we weren't funny, and we wouldn't be funny without your posts, my friends. You rock. Thank you so very much. Where are we here? Let me take a quick sip of coffee and think about it. So I think I told you what time it was. Actually, I know I told you what time it was. Then I told you about the date on my side of the world. And because we live in a globe, I had to mention the fact that the folks on the other side of the globe are on a different date. That's right, a day later, like those folks in Melbourne. And then I'm pretty sure we talked about our days. I talked about my day yesterday, my exciting trip to the dump. Then we talked about Michelle's day on Tuesday, and we talked about Melissa Carnahan. She shared with us yesterday that she had just got home from hanging out with Carter, her grandson. And then I implored you to share your days. I even mentioned that Dave Knapp left a funny comment on yesterday regarding my trip to the dump. And then again, I implored you to share your days because, we want this to be an exciting video, and you are exciting. And then I featured two posts from, Michelle Finnerty, who we just had talked about, and then from Rose Glad, who we talk about a lot. And they were great posts. They both made me laugh. And I know they made a few of you laugh. And then we got to here. And then right from here, usually the only place we can go, the only place to transit to would be, probably to the bad jokes. What's the best way to quit being a vegan? Going cold turkey. Common sense is like deodorant. The people that need it the most use it the least. I knew a guy that fell into an upholstery machine. He's fully recovered. I struggled with 3 core subjects in school. One was math, and I can't remember the other one. I was at my friend's parents' farm when his dad asked me if I could help him round up 18 cows. I said, sure. That'd be 20 cows. Did you know that if you sneeze and fart at the same time, your body takes a screenshot? What do you call a group of very disorganized cats? A catastrophe. What do you get when you boil a funny bone? A laughing stock. Did you hear about the famous pickle? Yeah, he's a really big deal. Speaking of that pickle, why did he wear sunglasses? Because he was also cool as a cucumber. Thanks for watching those jokes, my friends. I really hope you do find them funny. I hope they make you laugh. The only reason I tell them is because I want to make people laugh. And I'm thinking I got to change the name of that joke segment, because they're not really all bad jokes. Some of them are actually pretty good. Sometimes I make the good jokes bad for my delivery, but yeah, those aren't all bad jokes. But no, we're going to stick with the name Daily Bad Jokes. Why? Because I like bad jokes. And today I got to thank the folks at Dad Says Jokes, the folks that put out this book here. I'm going to put up real quick. That one right there. And also from the folks who put together the little book of epic dad jokes. That's this one right here. No author on this one as far as I can tell, but it is published by OH Books. That's where I got my jokes today, my friends. Always show your sources. Never steal a joke if you can avoid it, my friends. And I'm not going to steal a joke today. Got to say thanks to the folks at Dad Says Jokes, especially because I've been using a lot of their jokes over the last few months. And I definitely give them credit. You know, I want to tell your jokes too, my friends. How do you do that? Well, send your jokes to me at jokes@wellithoughitwasfunny.com. That's jokes@wellithoughitwasfunny.com. And if I use your joke, I'm going to give you credit for your joke. I promise you. And you know, when you're getting ready to send that joke, why don't you take a moment and record yourself telling a joke? That's right. Pick up your phone, click camera, click video, make sure that front-facing camera is on so your beautiful face is looking right back at you. And tell a joke. And send that joke, along with those jokes that you're already going to send me, to jokes@wellithoughitwasfunny.com. 2 quick favors, real easy ones. If you're out and about today and you're amongst humans, try to make somebody laugh. If it's an appropriate moment, you'll make their day better, I promise you. The other favor, along the same lines, you deserve to laugh, my friends. You're as important as anyone else. So if you can, try to make sure you find something that makes you laugh today. And if it's really funny, share it on the group. And tag me in it, Lee Kempster. Tag me and say, Lee, this is the thing that made me laugh today. And I'll share it tomorrow, folks, I promise. Well, I'm just about to wrap up, my friends, but I am going to talk about our store real quick. Got a great little store. In our great little store, I've got these coffee cups. You see me flash that coffee cup around all the time. We've got shirts and hoodies. Let me show off the shirts and hoodies here. Take a look there. There's our 3/4 sleeve rock shirt. Then there's our regular t-shirt. And there is our hoodies. Now, these are all fantastic quality. They really are. I have washed my shirts and my hoodie so many times, and they still look like the day I got them. The print is fantastic still, and it is a print. It's not a crappy iron-on. The shirt itself is held up. They're not graying or anything. They look great. They're great quality. Stand behind them, and I think they're going to look great on you, my friends. So we've got the shirts, and I've got, I mentioned my coffee cup, of course, but we also have a 25-ounce to-go cup. Let me bring that up right there. Keep your hot beverages hot or your cold beverages cold while you're out and about and representing the group. Got that great print of Dorothy the cow on there, and I think it looks great. We also have, my friend, we've got an iPhone case. That's right, we've got an iPhone case. It's a case for most versions of the iPhone. Check it out. There's a drop-down menu on our store there, and I'm sure you'll find your iPhone in that case. And you know what else we have? This is something I'm really, really proud of, man. You know why I'm really proud of this? I'm proud of this because I love this photo. We have a tote bag. Rose Glad. That's right, our friend Rose Glad. There's Rose Glad with her tote bag shown off. Rose Glad said, that bag is good for groceries, it's good for your books, and it's also great for hauling around your rubber chickens, my friends. Tell me that's not a great great endorsement for a comedy group. It certainly is, my friends. If you know comedy, especially slapstick comedy, you know that Rubber Chickens have an important place in it. Thank you so very much, Rose. Thank you to anybody and everybody who's visited our store, and especially thank you to anybody who's purchased anything there. If you do purchase anything from our store, we would absolutely love it if you sent in a photo of you with that coffee cup, with your t-shirt, flashing that phone case. You know, we got stickers too. Maybe show us where you put that sticker. We even have ladies' panties, but please do not send in a photo of you in your panties if you do purchase them. I know the panties are great quality. I got some for the missus, but at the same time, I don't think it'd be appropriate for folks sending me pictures of them in their panties. And I don't want to get in trouble with the missus because I love my wife and I don't want to cause problems there, my friends. Folks, check out the store, please. And if you do purchase anything, let us know. We want to hear from you, my friends. You know what? It is that time. It's that time where I wrap up the video. But I do want to reiterate the fact that you are amazing, my friend. And you have made us amazing. And you make me laugh every day. Your posts make me laugh. Therefore, you make me a better person. You make my day better every day. Because when you make somebody laugh, you elevate them. And you do it every day, my friends. Therefore, I'm a better person because of this group. And this group is so amazing. 750,000 people. Once again, let's call us what we are. The funniest city on the internet. Population you and I, my friends. Funny people in a funny place. And we are so good at making people laugh. Yes, we are. Folks, you know I'm going to be here again tomorrow. I'm hoping you're going to be here tomorrow too. And maybe we'll have a few new people. And if we do, that's going to be amazing. But even if we don't have a single new person here, we're already the funniest city on the internet. We're the greatest group on the internet. And you're amazing, my friends. All the love.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Well, I think it was funny.
Well, I thought 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 it was funny.